Does money have any purpose other than revealing the state of our hearts and aiding practical aspects of the kingdom? They continue, it seems to be the antithesis of a life based on a human-divine relationship. I'll let you hold on to that one and see if it's something that you were wanting to cover there.
The answer is I don't know off the top of my head. It seems like these two things are both very comprehensive in their statement, revealing the state of our hearts and aiding practical aspects of the kingdom. I was talking with Dan and Jennifer as we wrote in here. Jesus tells us to be in the world but not of the world. Money is a practical part of being in the world. Satan's perversion of the role of money helps us to be of the world in areas many times that we are blind to. And so God asks us to trust him enough. He stands at the door of our bank accounts, whether they are little and we don't see the resources, or they're much and we feel confident in the resources. And he says, don't worship the thing more than the Creator, and don't find your sense of security in money. And yes, again, last night with Laodicea, I used to sit and listen to that passage and think, well, at least I'm not Laodicean because I don't have money. I got a lot of things laid up to my account, but I dodged that bullet. And that's actually a very strong performance perspective right there. Because the tragedy of Laodicea was not that they had money. They were blind to God. And they thought that they were okay because they had money. Paul says, I've learned how to abound, and I've learned how to be abased. And I've learned in whatever state I am, therewith to be content. And so that seems to be all encompassed also in the revealing the state of our hearts.
And where your treasure is, there your heart will be.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, are you saying, Kelly, that happiness is a choice? And that I must consistently choose Jesus and his love no matter what? And then also, what version of the Bible do you use?
I like to look at many different versions. I'll answer that part first. I like to look at many different versions. When I began speaking, which was about 5 years ago, I checked with several of the, probably names on your list among other things, but some of the very respected spiritual leaders that I've been blessed to work with through the years, and I asked them what versions of the Bible would be a good, solid version to actually speak with. Because I know that the King James Version is something that many of us have grown up hearing, and I love the beauty of it and the poetry of it, but sometimes in talking to people, you may find it a little bit hard to carry a thought through. And the consistent answer I got across the board was New International Version is also a very respected version. So I use both King James, New King James, and New International Version when I speak from the front. In my own study, I like to read a variety and to compare primarily with the three that I mentioned here. That's my personal preference at this point. And then the other part of the question is happiness a choice? And must I consistently choose Jesus and his love no matter what? Yes, happiness is a choice so far as it goes. That's a favorite phrase of my husband's, so far as it goes. To me, as I understand it now, happiness is in every way fundamentally tied to my relationship with Christ. Because sometimes I am not really strong enough to make that choice in the things that I'm facing. But if I will, and I think that's partly embodied in this answer here, choosing Christ. If I have the thought habits of Christ is so much a part of me that I live and move and have my being in him, and I'm growing closer to him, and he's remaking me from the inside out, and all of these things are happening. He says, I'm the vine, you are the branches. Apart from me, you can do nothing. So for me, it's the relationship and the connection, and it's strengthened in his word. And so that when we come into the areas where it's bleak, or for many of us, the danger is not when it's bleak. The danger is when it's good. Because then we can grow complacent and comfortable. We can begin to glory in things other than Christ. So it is yes, it is choosing Jesus and his love no matter what, but it is for me going to that relationship and to the things that in his word he tells me